So, denizens of the universe, we are going for another round of a RWBY discussion. This time, joining me are...
TheBrainTeaser.
And S.R.
Alright, not quite sure where to start out this time. Last time we were talking about the, color combinations and themes and acronyms, and apparently Vale is color crazy. If you were a cheerleader, you'd be integrating indigo or cardinal or ruby into your cheer routines and such.
Dear God. Because I didn't get to listen into that podcast, so was there a discussion on the actual rules of team names? Because there are legitimate rules that I'm kind of surprised at.
There was some touching on it, but I don't think it'd be too much of a fracas to bring it up again and discuss it here.
Okay.
I'm not remembering anything, just pronunciations, like Team Sun being 3 S's and an N.
That'd be Medusa's preferred team. Medusa's in Greek mythology Medusa, not Soul Leader Medusa.
Yes, you need to make that distinction.
And then the only other team name that got significance was Team Journey.
Don't stop believing. TM.
Oh, God. Wait. Which one's Team Journey again? I'm losing my mind.
If you remove Pyrrha's P and replace it with Ruby's R in Junifer and rearrange the letters a bit, it can spell Journey.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that one's specifically a SR creation. As to the official rules for naming system, what are those? I'll admit I've never really bothered to look it up, or I don't really know much about it.
Well, I pulled up the document that Monty Ohm created on it, and I'm just trying to get it to function with me. Yes. Well, it appears that this is the original guidelines set by Monty Ohm, and I'm going to see if I can read off. Oh, even has a little intro in the beginning. It says, "Hey guys, I noticed that there are fans who love making their own RWBY OCs and OC teams. I think it's awesome, and if you're going to be thinking about an OC team, then you should know the naming rule in RWBY. Number 1, characters in RWBY must be a color, something that sounds like a color, something that means a color, or something that makes you think of a color. Number 2, if that character is on a team, then the first letter of their name must fit in a 4-letter acronym that spells a team name that also must be a color, something that sounds like a color, something that means a color, something that makes you think of a color, yada yada." That was the rule that I set for whenever we need to come up with the name in RWBY. You can bet were countless hours in cafes scribbling on the backs of napkins while looking up names, scrubbing through thesaurus and dictionaries, looking up the color in multiple languages, finding naming sites that could lend meaning to a character in mind, or researching various histories of names that I wanted and finding a way to give it color. Thus, all the names in RWBY, minus Ozpin, for reasons, follow this rule. It was certainly hard when I wanted a certain name but couldn't give it a color meaning or somehow find a way to make it fit in the criteria of being in a certain team. Sometimes I'd have a specific character design in mind and then they would need a color and a team. Sometimes I'd have only the name and therefore I'd either need it to fit somewhere or come up with 3 other names to justify it, but then find even better meaning in other names. Sometimes I'd have a team name and look for as many ways to spell said team member or team itself to match. This rule from day one when I started thinking about RWBY set into motion this chaotic series of events where each and every day are found meaning and circumstances for our characters. I embraced this chaos and let it run throughout creating texture while we make sense of it. I have seen some RWBY OCs and OC teams that follow the first rule, but don't know about the second. I'm putting this out there so that you don't invest in something that isn't accurate to the rule. And I like that you think about these things because I was the same day one, watching someone else's work, dreaming it on my own. And that's about it. Although, however, there actually was another rule, though, that, especially when it comes to team names, it can't be a vowel. So, like, the team acronym couldn't have an A or an E or something like that. Hence why RWBY's is spelled the way it is.
Definitely syncs up. RWBY, Juniper, Cardinal, Indigo. Those are all the ones that I immediately remember or come to mind.
It's gotta be the hardest game of Wheel of Fortune ever.
And then the third one that I have seen around is that The team name the word that the team name is referencing to has to have 4 consonants. So hence why when you spell out Juniper, you just have to take away the U, the I, and the E to make the team name. Or with Cardinals, you have to do the same thing, only it's different vowels. I'm just like, oh god, the technicalities.
I'm just impressed that there's a set of rules to go off of and how supportive Monty was of fans, or rather, fan participation and setups. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, although I think the one about how the 4 different consonants rule is a little loose, because actually when you spell out cardinal, there's 5 consonants, so I don't know. I guess that was just someone being super critical. Either way, it's incredible. Let's see, where was the...
just how much thought and process would have to go into setting up the team names. Definitely brings to mind just what little details go overlooked into making projects, and just how much of an impact they can have on the project overall. In this case, the title of the series, team names in general,
Although actually when it comes to the title of the show and character names and how you have to make sure you differentiate between the show RWBY, the team RWBY, and the character RWBY. I'm not gonna lie, the very first time I saw the episode where they're, picking teams and partners and stuff, when Ruby's got announced, I'm just like, are they trying to give her an ego boost, or is this just an accidental thing? The child.
It's coincidence. And maybe Osmond picking favorites.
Or maybe he just wanted to make things really confusing.
Because he needs to find some form of amusement in his life, considering how bleak everything is.
Yeah, just one stupid little joke every day. Like, some kind of... Let's say he has another thing on his desk with ridiculous, trite, motivational sayings, and he just sits there and chuckles at... Or, no, rather than motivational sayings, just this big book of puns, and he turns to a new one every day, laughs a little at it. Maybe he peppers in the puns into conversations with his assistant or partner, whoever she is, and just smiles a little. Maybe he has a secret churlish side that we just don't really know much about.
Or maybe he uses the pun in the morning announcements, and all the students groan.
Yes.
Good.
We would die. That's amazing.
If anyone was hell-bent on seeing me come up with the RWBY headcanon, there you go. Osmond is a secret lover of puns.
Yes.
I've made more bad puns than any man, woman, or child.
And that's saying a lot, considering what kind of pun master and machine Qrow gets when he's more drunk than usual.
Yes!
But he's always drunk.
But this is Moonshine level drunk.
Oh, Lord. Do I want to know where you found this?
Oh, I'm just pulling stuff out of my rear. This is off the cuff commentary. There is no canonical backing to this. I'm just making stuff up.
Yes.
It's just so much potential in the idea of just watching Qrow on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. What would the guy be like if he were sober?
Very boring, I would think.
Maybe Qrow would be like a slightly tipsy Archer.
I was just thinking about Archer as a parallel. Qrow seems to down alcohol in the same kind of respect and capacity that Archer does. Or that's the implication. There's really some note of ambiguity for that. They may be exaggerating a little by saying that he drinks all the time.
Now what?
Now I'm thinking is Qrow bursting in on Team Journey. Just, Uncle Qrow, why are you here? Make me a cheese. A what? Grilled cheese. Make me a cheese.
Oh, God.
Speaking of Qrow, I discovered I was approached about discussing a certain fan theory the other day about Qrow supposedly being RWBY's biological father. I'm half tempted to throw this out there just as crazy topic, meriting interesting discussion.
Oh, Lord. See, I'm not entirely sure where the proof lies, but I can definitely consider it an interesting idea.
And some people would probably point to both of them being scythe users.
Yeah, that's actually the starting point, just their similar appearances and personalities. Though, I'd chalk a lot of that up to, look at how much Wise looks up to Winter. I'd say that Wise looking up to her older sister plays a bigger role in her choosing a similar aesthetic, style, and, demeanor than just being related. I'd say that similar carries over to how RWBY holds and conducts herself. I get the impression that Qrow was her big mentor figure. Mentor figures can have just as much... That's just what I chalk it up to. I'm not completely dismissing the idea of this particular fan theory. I'm just... Actually, I still need to poke around at this a bit more, because I've seen it be debunked by a couple of official tweets and such.
Mm-hmm.
Well, RWBY did mention that Qrow taught her how to use the scythe in episode 1.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did. Wait, where was the... trying to remember what the one line was in that episode.
I've only seen one other scythe user. Oh yeah, it's my Uncle Qrow.
Yeah, that's the one.
Meanwhile, Ruby's downing a whole plate of cookies that apparently never disappear.
Cartoon physics, man. Cartoon physics.
It applies to some bow users' bunch of arrows, too. They have this unlimited supply of arrows. I think this became a thing in World of Warcraft, too, since it became taxing and tedious to have to go buy a completely new set of arrows after using up all of them. The unlimited arrow thing, great for MMORPGs, definitely a good staple to have in cartoons. So you don't have to have them go to town because, oh my god, our archer's out of arrows, and...
Yeah, it's one of the things that kind of kept me away from choosing the hunter class. I'm sticking with my frost mage.
Here's my question: why are there seem to be so few scythe users? Everyone else seems to stick to blades and swords and guns, and just I'm like, okay, why? Scythes are pretty terrifying. Yep.
Scythes are kind of an interesting weapon in a sense of they're a bow staff, but with a bladed weight at the bottom, and one wrong move, and you've essentially chopped your own head off.
Fair enough.
Scythes are a bit unwieldy. It's interesting whenever they pop up in fiction in general. The other analogy that comes to mind here, forgive me, I've been freaking out over Hunter x Hunter here recently. There's a character named Kite. One of his big trademarks is pulling out a scythe every so often. The way that he wields it, or the way any given scythe user wields it, you really have to have some kind of competency and have your damn wits about you so you know where you're cutting the arc, who you're cutting it with. In RWBY's case, she has the extra added quote-unquote benefit of a damn gun being attached to this thing. So she can not only chop off somebody's head if she's not paying attention, but she can shoot him in the leg, or the foot, or something else like that too.
True enough.
And then crows can also turn into like a blade as well. A straight edge.
Yes. Just that whole fight is just, I love it so much.
Those
the Qrow versus Winter fight.
Yes.
One of the best fight sequences in the entire series. Definitely agreed there.
Specifically because Qrow just does not give a fuck the entire time.
I also love how before the fight, Weiss was so used to being called Ice Queen that she instantly was like, excuse me. It's like, no, not you. Her.
Oh my god, I love that. I love the thematic parallels drawn between Qrow and Winter to Wise and RWBY. Just...
Yeah, see, I'm getting semi-distracted because I'm looking up interesting RWBY pictures to get discussions, and oh god, some of these are just killing me. I already put 2 in the Skype chat.
I saw one of the links. Who was the professor that looked like he was caffeinated all the time.
Oobleck?
Yes!
Damn it! I
My
wanna
husband
remember
creature.
this guy's name. I love this guy. Just
He's mine! I love him so much, Jesus. See, that's what makes one of the other pictures, that makes the first picture so funny, because you have Oobleck, who is just this insane genius and wonderful mentor, and then you realize he's voiced by the same guy that does Caboose from Red vs. Blue. Die! I'm just dead. Help me. You know what? I'm just gonna type RWBY theory and just see what happens.
that's just a theory. A RWBY theory.
Thanks for watching. Game theory and film
bang.
theory are my life. Yes. Oh my god! No.
What popped up?
Literally, the first link says that's just a theory, our RWBY theory. Oh my
Matt Fat, this is the impact you've made on the internet. Everybody and their idiot brother wants to apply game theory, including the tagline, to just about every piece of media they can ground up and buy.
Because it fits.
I wonder if Matt Pat would ever consider making or having some kind of discussion about a crazy cartoon or anime theory. It'd be fun to just see him cut into it and just go nuts like he does with some of the video game theories he does. Just all the Five Nights at Freddy's, a whole ridiculous theory about Sans being Ness from Earthbound, all that craziness. It'd be fun to see him apply something like Qrow is Ruby's biological father. What kinds of extremes and extents would he go to? Or how far would he bend backwards to prove this point? It'd be interesting to see him bring this kind of overly analytical approach, or overly digging into the smallest details bit to something like this.
Oh, hello. Ladies and gentlemen, the Wizard of Oz theory. And it goes beyond Ozpin, Glenda, and Ironwood. Let me just list this off just real fast. Ozpin is the Wizard of Oz. Glinda, Good Witch of the South. Salem, Wicked Witch of the West. That's the creepy lady that shows up near the end of Volume 3. Summer is Dorothy. Qrow is Scarecrow, because duh. Ironwood is Tin Man. Tai Yane is Lion. Raven is the Flying Monkey, and Zwei is Toto. I die. That's amazing.
Hey, it syncs up pretty well. Especially the idea of Summer as Dorothy, if she has the same kind of personality as what RWBY does. Or at least similar.
But who are the foul apple-throwing trees? The most important of antagonists.
I'm not gonna lie, their whole thing is like my favorite scene from the movie.
Is it bad that Wise immediately comes to mind?
I find that hilarious, considering that most plants tend to die around snow. So I'm just like...
She was inspired by the fairy tale Snow White, and the poison apple is a key feature. And I am reaching way too far to try and make this ridiculous analogy work.
and she did burn down the Emerald Forest.
There. Let me think a second. Did they say anything about what winter is supposed to be based off? Because part of me wants to say Snow Queen, which I just think would be interesting.
That may be possible. I'm half tempted to get a Cliff Notes synopsis on Snow Queen and draw a few impromptu compares and contrasts. The Snow Queen. Looking up Wikipedia. Everybody's favorite questionable information source.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not sure how I'm going to make a TLDR out of this.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah. Throat hurts a bit, so bleh.
I'm sorry.
Meh. Yeah, Snow Queen. In summary, let's see. Evil demon mirror, shattered by the heavens. Pieces turn people's heart. The pieces corrupt people. Snow Queen inflicts boy that insults her with one of those pieces. Kidnaps boy. Best friend girl goes to save him. Runs into a few trials, including a witch that tries to bewitch her into forgetting everything, running into a robber girl, almost becoming best friends with a royalty, almost freezing in the Great North, and then finally rescuing her best friend after reminding him of, I don't know, best friendship, and then coming home and realizing, oh wait, we've grown up.
Gracious.
I read it a couple times in protest after watching Frozen.
Oh, Lord.
It was just like, this version is way much better.
Not many Disney fairy tales really sync up as nicely with the fairy tales they were based on as well as they could. Though, I will say this much, do prefer the fairy tale version over Frozen. Not that Frozen's bad or anything, just... Okay, I'll just come right out and say it. One of the weaker Disney adaptations, or one of the weaker Disney fairy tale movies. Come at me, bro!
Oh, Lord.
I'm kidding, please don't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's on my list if I ever decide to do a show about rewriting movies or shows.
Ooh.
Snow Queen pretty much is open source. You could probably just make your own adaptation and make it truer to the fairy tale or something a bit more in-depth. Not even... I'd say that'd be a more interesting route to go. Make an adaptation of the Snow Queen the way you'd like to write it.
Mm-hmm.
There is a Russian animated movie out of it that's pretty good. It was done, I think, way back in the 70s? Or it was the 80s, but the animation quality looks pretty old.
Huh, may just have to look that up a bit later. As to drawing connections between this and Winter, don't really know enough about her character to really...
Oh, 1957.
Parallels.
Hmm.
Probably going to shelve the Snow Queen Winter parallel for a later discussion if her character gets any more expansion or discussion stuff.
Yeah. Whoa.
Damn it, phone! Ringing at just the wrong time!
Thank you for calling customer service. How may I help you?
Oh, God.
God!
1957 Soviet animated film.
Go check it out, Disney nerds! Just so you know, I'm a Disney nerd too, just not quite as out there as what others might be.
Dude, they're getting Grimm's based off gorillas. I'm so happy. It looks awesome.
Grimm's based off of gorillas?
Yeah, it's like concept art for the coming season. Hold on, let me see if I can open this thing.
Oh, nice. They just have to make an adaptation of that for the title card this time around.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be an interesting challenge.
Copy and paste, and there we go. So pretty.
This is badass.
Hell yeah.
Gorilla Grodd would be proud.
Gorilla Grodd, Miss Shamala. God.
Gorilla Grodd is just my go-to. I'm a
Yeah.
low-information comic fan. I've only seen the DC animated universe. That's as far as my knowledge of comics extends. That and a few weird tidbits about the Silver Age.
Gracious. Well, what the?
I got the Sing trailer when I saw Kubo today, so right now all I'm thinking is that gorilla from that movie for this thing. That'd be a very different movie. It'd probably make me want to see it.
I went to go see Kubo earlier today. Oh my god. It was just... yes.
See, y'all are going on about Kubo, and I don't think I even want to mention what the last movie in theaters I saw was.
Jeanette.
Sausage Party. My God, it was
thinking
hilarious.
about going to see that.
It was a lot more profound than I was
Out of
expecting.
more of a curiosity.
I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot more profound than I was expecting.
That's what I keep hearing, but it's just not my deal. It's
All
not
I
my
will
jam.
All I will say is that it's R-rated for a reason. Be prepared.
Be prepared.
But even there's no way to actually brace yourself for some of the stuff they do. Dear God, hell.
I've heard that there's a certain scene featuring the epitome of happy fun time with a great big group, and that's putting it very, very, very mildly.
No comment.
Hey, I wasn't the one that derailed this time, or was I?
Well, I mean, I'm the one that said I didn't want to mention it, but then you told me to mention it, and then I thought that it would be, like, enough said once I did mention it.
I think it was me mentioning Sing for the trailer for Kubo.
Possibly. I do want to see Sing, though. That looks interesting.
I'm definitely curious to see, to be honest, the premise, I chalked it up to, usually you see this in just a television show, or just generally in a cartoon. But here, since you have a bigger production and a team working on it, and a bit more runtime than a 15-30-minute time slot, I'm curious to see how they're going to handle all the different overarching character narratives and such. Should be interesting to see play out.
I mean, I've got a bigger interest in seeing it over DreamWorks Trolls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to see Trolls too.
No, I don't.
I swear, anything that involves some kind of people-eating monster, it draws my interest. I don't know why, but I was kind of casually fascinated by Hunter x Hunter when Golem first appeared, and then you have the Chimera Ant arc pop up with these man-eating insects, and I'm like, hell yeah, sign me up! I don't know what it is, it just... I'm horrible for that, but just... Interesting tidbit, I had an irrational fear of cannibalism as a kid, and apparently it translated into this weird fascination as an adult.
Irrational fear of cannibalism?
Yes! Irrational as in, I would go to bed fearing that there might be some cannibalistic creature or humanoid sneaking into my room that would drag me into the darkness, and just in that respect. It was next to fearing lions, crocodiles, things that could eat me. Just, okay, I'm done with that particular tangent, because I really don't want people playing armchair psychologist with me and trying to pinpoint why I had this particular fear. Because, I'll just say this much, everybody has some weird, irrational childhood fear. And sometimes it can very well translate into what facets or factors in media draw you into watch cartoons and anime or whatever else. That just happens to be one of mine next to more innocent fare like shipping or whatever else.
It was a one-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater. One-eyed, one-horn flying people eater.
Love that song. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Sure looks strange to me.
Oh, gracious.
Seriously, the Chimera Ants are a fucking cool concept. Just some of them wasn't really too impressed by them. Oh, okay. I'm just going to stop right there before I go up on a long-ass tangent.
Yeah.
We now return to our regularly scheduled program, already in progress.
Yes!
Maybe?
Yay.
Okay. Are there any other concept art for potential Grims or Grim designs?
Not that I'm seeing so far, but I can specify my search to Volume 4. Because otherwise it's mostly what Team RWBY's characters are going to look like, and it's really seems to be it.
I'm hoping RWBY finally gets to take down one of those giant Grim elephants.
Now that I'd like to see. That would be quite the throwdown.
Put my keyboard away. There we go.
Oh, God.
Another question I have, or kind of really dramatically shifting gears here. Penny is technically an AI, so she could very well be rebuilt and rebooted. I wonder if there's a possibility of her showing back up in Volume 4. Of course, if there was, there wouldn't be concept art for her floating around. It'd be one of the big things they'd keep under wraps or bring as a surprise.
We can rebuild her. We can make her better, stronger, faster. More impervious to its own wires.
Can withstand polarity.
Oh, Lord.
What's the super-de-duper ability that people in RWBY have? Just
Semblance?
Yeah, semblance.
Oh.
She's impervious to polarity-related semblance this time around.
Good.
I'm having trouble keeping track of all these different names for special abilities. In Dragon Ball Z, it's super-de-duper magic energy. I know there's something there.
Aye.
In Naruto, you have chakra. In Hunter x Hunter, it's Nin. And then here, semblance. Okay. Trying to keep my facts straight.
In Yu-Gi-Oh, it's Heart of the Cards.
Yeah, I'm not seeing...
Can you... Sorry.
You go.
Can you imagine a portrayal of RWBY with the same kind of hamminess that the Yu-Gi-Oh characters had in the Awful 4 Kids dub? The kind that gets parodied to hell.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lordy Lord.
Imagine it! It'd be fantastic! Wise with the same kind of goofy... Wise with Seto Kaiba's conduct and single-track mindedness towards defeating her rivals. Just imagine if RWBY and Wise had the kind of dynamic that Seto and Yugi did. Just...
So then would Roman or Cinder be Maximilian Pegasus?
Oh, God. I didn't watch Yu-Gi-Oh, so I'm kind of clueless to all of this.
For a brief rundown, just watch Pro Jared Plays Yu-Gi-Oh! Millennium of the Duel. Because it goes through the Duelist Kingdom arc, and he's there on live cam just playing the game and acting, it's just like, good show, Yugi boy. Thanks, Maximilian Pegasus, but you're still going to lose.
Gracious.
It's hammy as hell, and it's hilarious.
I love the idea of either Cinder or Roman having that kind of over-the-top, flamboyant attitude to him.
Well, Roman already has that.
I like the idea of both. Okay, so Roman would be a stand-in for Maximilian Pegasus. Just the hammy factor would be dialed up to 10 this time around.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm trying to think of allegories to what I think would work best for this, and I basically want to see Cinder become what the Dragon Ball Z Team 4-Star did to Vegeta. Deep manly voice included.
So then would Roman be her Nappa?
Probably. I don't know, actually.
All I'm imagining now is Cinder with a doctor girlfriend type
Oh my God, yes!
I love that idea. So much win.
You know what?
Roman, I'm going to blow you up with my powers now because you are no longer useful to me.
God.
Like she comes out of that silver eye crystal thing. Just hears her voice, like, is that my voice?
Gracious.
Oh well.
I'm just wondering, would they give Neo a voice, or would they just leave her mute and then everyone just comment on the fact that she doesn't have a voice?
That seems to be the case right now, so why not carry that over to a parody and kind of emphasize it and sort of drop commentary at? What's up with this?
Or it could be like, Nagisa and 50% off.
I don't know if I'm familiar with this.
It's Octopimp's parody of Free.
Oh Lord, now I'm scared.
Oh, fun.
He basically turned this, like, little... Basically, he's the personification of a chibi into this common street criminal.
God.
RWBY, we need focus on shoulder blades, because shoulder blades are sexy.
God.
I think one of my favorite Nagisa lines in 50% off is, like, they're working on cleaning the pool, and Nagisa asks the teacher for some slushies. It's like, hey, we're doing all the hard work. All I'm saying is go down to 7-Eleven, get us a couple of slushies, and maybe a couple packs of smokes. That's all I'm asking. Nagisa, if I have to get out of this chair, I swear you're going to be put into one. All right, I'll admit, I'm a little terrified.
I love it. I love it so much.
Does anyone entertain any ridiculously mundane headcanons about RWBY characters, on par with the Ospen likes puns type dealio?
Glinda counts down the days till summer break.
Oh! Damn! Hashtag Glenda True Ice Queen. Yes! Damn. Oh.
Wise challenges Glinda. Nobody takes that nickname except for me and my sister.
But you hate it! Just someone in the background. Like...
But it's mine!
Gracious.
The one reference I was kind of waiting for, but they never happened, is like a scene with Sun participating in class assignments, and then someone shouting out in the back room, it's like, he doesn't even go to our school!
He doesn't even go here!
No, it was Binks.
Yes, gotta shoehorn in that classic reference somewhere.
Oh god.
Sun and Neptune, not my favorites as the male protagonists or characters on the show. I don't hate them, but don't really like them either.
I mean, I find them more likable to me over Jean.
Dang.
In a sense of, you know, the show should really be focusing on the main team and not having like a Jean arc almost every season.
Yeah, I get you. Let's see.
At least they could have done is done like a different arc with a different team member of Team Juniper for season 2, because Pyrrha had the arc in season 3.
Yeah.
So imagine if season 2 they did a Rin and Nora arc.
Oh my god, all of the shippers would have screamed, myself included.
Development for those two would be very welcome.
Well, let's hope for volume 4 then. I'm just trying to... Do I have any crazy headcanons for anyone? Hold up.
It's a bit of a White Rose headcanon for me, but one thing I think of is that Weiss checks over RWBY's homework after she goes to sleep.
Oh my god, she would. Not even just as a ship, just in general, Weiss totally would.
And then writes down, like, this is wrong, fix it, before class.
I'm just imagining her doing it to, like, everybody's then.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the only person she wouldn't really have too much difficulty with, or would even be a little jealous of, would be Blake.
Yes. And then, of course, my brain's like, it started out as a Team RWBY issue only, but then she caught sight of Nora's homework, and so it became Ruby and Juniper, and so eventually she just starts.
I think Ren would be that one for that team.
Yes, totally.
Because I doubt Weiss would want to do anything with Jean's work.
Damn. True. Actually, I think Pyrrha and Ren's would probably be okay. Nora's could be like a little iffy, but probably not by much. Jean's, God. Jean, I love you, but god damn it, boy.
Well, considering he was able to find documents and be able to hack his way into the school, he's not necessarily dumb, he's just a bumbling fool.
Seems to me like he just gets into his own head a little too much. He's always doubting himself and everything.
Yeah, he was picked as his team's leader for a reason. I think he's more confident and capable than what he really gives himself credit for. Osmond wouldn't have made him the leader if he didn't have some kind of potential or promise. He does have a pretty strategic mind in battle. He was the one instructing everybody on how to use their complementary abilities and how to maximize Nora's Thor hammer and Pyrrha's shield and
yes,
stuff like that.
Yeah, against the Deathstalker and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And then he starts going on that whole tangent during the tournament about flower power and Arcos. I'm just laughing my ass off.
Excuse me, but we're having a fight here. I was like, we're having a team argument. Or a team meeting here. Nora, just hit them.
Like
in regards to... Sorry, go ahead.
It's like just when the argument begins, like before the other team even realizes what's happening, it's like they're about to run in, but then one of them is like, hold on, what the hell are they doing? Then halfway through, they're just like, is this a thing? Did we call a timeout? What the hell's going on? And then finally someone's just like, we're having a fight here, we're having a team argument, and then they just look at each other like they're just too stunned to even react, hence why Nora is able to hit them.
In regards to Nora's homework or tests, I imagine her pulling the same kind of stunt that Patty from Soul Eater would. In other words, making a giraffe or drawing pictures of crazy stuff.
God, yes. I think. But then there's that one... Oh, I guess I do have a new headcanon then. There's that one day where she's drawing Ren x Nora shippy things, and she doesn't realize it until the tests get collected. So she literally just crumbles it into a ball, pulls out her hammer, and just sends it flying.
Nora, you realize you're going to have to retake the test now, right? And you're going to have 20 points deducted for wasting time in class and not doing it then.
And for putting a hole in the window.
That's coming out of whatever paycheck you get when you start working as a hunter. Or rather, huntress.
For some reason, well, actually, not really for some reason, but there's a scene in Randy Cunningham where, it's the first episode. Randy basically, for his What I Did Over the Summer essay that on the first day, he basically wrote down that he was the ninja, and then after realizing that he did that, he decided to like crumple it up, and I think he ate it.
Oh,
to which then the teacher's just like, it's like, anti-establishment. I'll give you a C. So I could kind of see Nora doing that for that situation. Actually, imagine if Pyrrha was the one that did that.
Oh, gracious.
Yes!
Oh my god, Pyrrha's the one that does it, and Nora's just shakes her head like, honey, why? Because she knows exactly what Pyrrha was doing.
Or Nora's like, Pyrrha, why'd you do that? And then Pyrrha admits what she did, and Nora's like, oh, crap. I copied your answers and turned it in.
It didn't occur to you that writing Jean Nikos for every possible answer wouldn't get you a lower grade?
It's like, you're the prodigy, not me.
No, trust me, people pull that kind of nonsense in real life. Oh, God, I remember there was this one story that ran on HBO Family where like kids told stories about their school experiences and stuff like that. This one kid copied off of the Genius of the Classroom's test, not realizing that the answer he was putting to it was some kind of prehistoric history thing. It's like, how do you expect me? The teacher's just like, how do you expect me that you both just happen to think that the dinosaurs were fine until aliens came crashing down into Earth and blowing up all of the space rocks or something stupid like that? It was aliens and dinosaurs. And the genius that was getting copied off of just looks at it just like, yeah, I only wrote that to see if you would actually cheat off of me. So trust me, it's real.
Something that always bugged me about teachers going like, do you expect me to believe that both of you got the exact same answers? To which it's like, are there more than two correct answers? In which case, if not, then of course we're going to have the same answers.
But to me, I feel like that kind of situation is the one you get when you're doing like multiple choice tests. But if you're like getting short response answers, then I can see where the eyebrows are going to be raised.
Yeah.
Well, I should say short response or essays.
Is usually you see that in shows whenever it's a multiple choice question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's just one of those like tropes that kind of bugs me.
Yeah. Very, very minor derailed. I just want to note on that sentence because I actually just watched a video about top 10 worst cliches in anime, and almost a good 6 or 7 of them I actually agree with. The other 3 was because I didn't quite understand, probably because I didn't watch enough animes that had those. But yeah, I can see what you're talking about. Let's see, what was the other one?
I've never been a big fan of the tsundere bopping her love interest trope. I'm still fairly new to anime myself, but considering that most of the animes I've watched have been shonen, yep, I've run across a couple of different tsundere. Or tsundere. Mispronouncing words.
I can see what you mean, but actually I think the number 1 cliche that was listed on the that was on the list because these technically involve tsunderes, the perceived pervert situation.
Oh god. That's exactly why. Okay, if anyone ever wondered why I wasn't too keen on checking out most romance anime, that's it, because it usually involves a harem, or that particular trope. Just instant turn off. Instant!
Yeah, I think that's probably why I liked Orimano Tagari so much, is because it didn't focus on multiple love interests, it focused on one couple, and that was it, for 24 episodes.
Aww.
That one I've been meaning to check out. Been seeing that get a lot of decent reviews.
It's really good, and it's one of those shows, like, I know I found a good romance whenever it makes me physically go, my insides. And that show, a lot of the time, I'm just like, I'm in physical pain. Good physical pain.
Been getting those kinds of feels from Starco recently.
Oh, gracious.
No OTP. That's it. No.
Wait, do I want to know what you're talking?
Starco, Star Marco.
No, I know that, but I'm like, did something happen? Because I don't really keep up with the show a lot, honestly.
Oh, there's been a lot of. Oh, Marco's just been ridiculously cute. You just gotta see it for yourself. I'm not spoiling anything.
Okay. Well, I know what I'm doing once this is over.
Yes! Yes, Star versus Bench. God, so many derails. None of us are cut out to be train conductors.
Whoa, what the heck?
What?
I pulled up a YouTube link so that I could be ready for the for looking up the Starco things afterwards, and on my featured things, I'm pretty sure yep, this is right. Nate Wants to Battle is holding Matt Pat hostage in a song, and it's weird. just the image, it just looks so weird.
Okay, I'll have to look that up a bit later.
Yeah, it's the fan video for the song Mangled.
Oh boy.
Oh, so that's what that script was.
Script? For what?
Oh, I was looking through some of my stuff, and I found a folded piece of paper with a script for one of the comics that I have an idea for.
Ooh. Yay.
It's the super villain slice of life one.
Aww. Let's see.
I thought I lost that one.
Well, good thing you did then.
Well, it's the first one, so I have it memorized.
Oh god, this is depressing. Apparently there's a lot of theories going around about how all of Team Juniper is going to die eventually.
No!
Well, the characters they based off,
No.
Characters they've been based off of all died at some point. Like,
No!
and especially if they die in a similar fashion. Like, okay, so Pyrrha didn't technically die to an arrow to the ankle, but she died to an arrow. So that would mean Jean would burn. Actually, I don't think Mulan died. She probably did, but I'd have to look it up. And then Thor, if I remember right, he died during Ragnarok.
Yeah, I've heard different endings to the Tale of Mulan. Ones where it's God. It was like one where she ends up coming home a war hero and she kind of just has a quiet life afterwards. There's one where she gets celebrated as a hero of China. I think I'm almost certain there's at least one where she ends up getting killed. I don't know, though.
Gonna open up my drawer and find my mythology book.
Yes.
Well, Mulan won't be in it, but Thor is. Now, what do you know? I open it up to Norse.
Nice.
The Vanir, Ragnarok, Valhalla, Wings of Power. Here we are, Thor.
And then, of course, there's all the theories about who is actually dead by the end of Volume 3, which I think is perfectly understandable to look over, all things considered.
If the entirety of Team Juniper is going to get killed off, I at least hope they get the same kind of badass battle or meaningful send-off that Pyrrha did. I'll give Volume 3 that much. Pyrrha did get a couple of good hits at the big bad. It'd be difficult for anyone to go one-on-one with
And there we go. Thor died at Ragnarok to the Jormungandr before he slayed the Jormungandr, but then died succumbing to its venom.
Ah.
we go. Put you back in there.
Well, of course, there was another theory on the Tumblr I was looking at about how Pura was already dying before Cinder got her hands on her. Talking about how sickly she looks, especially at the point where Cinder absorbs the powers of the Autumn Maiden.
Oh, wow. Link, please?
Hold on, I gotta bring that up.
Well, it could be due to the stress of learning about the Fall Maiden and the incredible power and responsibility, and the fact that should she obtain said power, she might have to say goodbye to Jean forever.
And ever.
Yeah, wasn't looking good either way.
This poor child. Da, 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 da.
Or maybe the transfer of the maiden powers is like the Pokerus in Pokemon. At first they're sick, but then they get better and stronger.
Here we are. Copy. And a paste.
Here we go.
Oh, no.
Copy pasta.
Yeah, I'm gonna chalk it up. I'm gonna chalk it up to stress and sleepless nights.
I'd chalk it up to that as well, though this theory is just way too intriguing to pass up, especially this bit about Cinder pretty much yoinking the Fall Maiden powers away, sort of interrupting this natural flow. The idea of it sapping other potential Fall Maiden's aura. There's potential in that.
Yoink.
Especially since the attack was happening during the transfer of power, which is perfectly understandable.
Pretty much. I wonder how the process of determining who is going to be the next fall, summer, etc. maidens goes.
Mm-hmm.
And how did Cinder get her hands on a device to siphon this energy in the first place? Or how did she figure out how to nab it? That's another story I'm intrigued in.
Something tells me it's going to involve Salem.
Probably. She's probably the big secret bad. Cinder may be a lesser evil, and Salem is big bad. She's just her underling, and getting the Fall Maiden powers helps her with even bigger plans.
Possibly. Also, excuse this person, but how in the world are they getting this?
What?
Okay, apparently there's also a theory going around that Salem is actually Summer Rose, but like dead or something. Why?
That's tinfoil hat brand theory.
Gracious.
I'll admit that I've been coming up with my fair share of tinfoil hat brand theories, especially one of my more recent Steven Universe ones, but that's a pretty big leap in logic. I definitely like to see, or what is there grounding or rationale?
Well, if the thing decides to load, I will tell you.
Well, as the old sci-fi trope states, if you don't see a body, they're possibly alive. And we do see a grave, but we never actually see a body, so it could just be empty.
That's possible.
Okay, so I'm going to mute my mic for just a quick second, and I'm going to look into this Salem Summer Rose thing.
Okay. Speaking of Qrow's teammates and such, I definitely like some more follow-up and some more background for these guys. I know there's going to be follow-up on Raven. Summer Rose is a pretty mysterious figure. The most you can really chalk up is that RWBY is pretty much her spitting image. I'm tentative to say that Summer had the exact same personality as RWBY, though. I am a biological spitting image of what my mom looked like at my age, and I have more of my dad's personality, so that's where I'm coming from when I say that.
Yeah, it's possible, considering what how Yang described Summer in her speech with Blake. It's like Supermom, fighter of monsters and baker of cookies.
That definitely syncs up with RWBY. Okay, I'll just come right out and say it. I'd be pretty disappointed if RWBY were just a complete carbon copy of her mom. I want at least something different. Just some slight difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A bit like Steven not being Rose.
Yeah, pretty much like that. I'm not averse to the idea of RWBY having a lot in common with her mom. Just that there's something different about her mom, like she might have been a bit more standoffish, or she might have been a bit more reckless. It'd be kind of interesting to chalk up Yang's recklessness and impulsiveness to watching Summer in battle, or something along those lines. Combine that with that possible connection with Raven. Crazy spitballing here, since any kind of predictions you'd make about Qrow's former teammates, pretty much gray area. There's not much really known about them, and Qrow himself is still pretty mysterious, as is Tai Yang.
Yeah, and the only thing I've been seeing is people's jokes about the team.
What are some of the jokes?
Just a caption of Tai Yang. It's like I've impregnated my entire team. What about Qrow? My entire team.
So, Qrow, hiding a secret from us?
This is why I drink. To forget that.
Tai Yang, sexiest motherfucker in Vale. He can get together with anyone he wants.
Although something that kind of scared me for a bit is when Qrow and Winter first interacted. As soon as the episode was done, I'm just like, oh no, people are going to start shipping them. Oh no, if they get... I mean, I know RWBY technically isn't related to Qrow, but if they were to start dating and possibly married, what would that make Ruby and Weiss? My white rose is becoming corrupted.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, it's just one of those, like, family tree things. Like the song I'm My Own Grandpa.
I don't see Qrow and Winter getting together. As much as I dig White Rose, I'd even say that's a bit of a stretch. It pains me to say it because I really want to see it happen, but...
Yeah, but that's the beauty thing of shipping. No matter what canon says, it's still canon for you.
Pretty much.
There's something I thought of earlier. I just can't seem to remember it. Well, hopefully in Volume 4 we get to see a bit more of Tai Yang.
Yes. He definitely needs some more character development or background.
Or really anything. Because his first appearance, he was just a 2D image. He didn't get a full model until the Season 3 finale.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if you look at Tai Yang in the scene where Ruby's at Summer's grave, Tai Yang's model is basically a 2D image.
Huh.
And of course the monochrome shippers are going to be wondering about Papa Schnee and his Lorax mustache.
How bad can I be?
I am the Lorax. I speak for the Schnees. You see all this faunus? They work just for me.
I did not pay a cent to see the 2012 Lorax. That is one of my bragging rights to this day. Fringe benefits from working at a movie theater.
I think the only reason why I saw it is because I also saw John Carter at the same day.
Between the two, which did you think was the better
John
movie?
Carter.
Yeah, the 2012 adaptation of the Lorax, pretty bad.
Yeah, I Have Soul did a recent review of the Lorax, and yeah, brought up a lot of really good points. And she did it all in rhyme.
Oh boy. I don't know if I could stand watching an entire review that was nothing but rhyme. God.
Well, she peppered some other stuff in it, like certain clips and stuff.
Okay.
Although they followed the rhyming scheme.
That is some pretty well done editing. Clever approach to editing.
Let's see. do. There's that just in case for later.
Do, 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 do.
This
I'm half tempted to dump the Jeopardy music
this
right
is
here.
the waiting song. Hopefully it won't go for too long. Okay, here's my notebook.
My favorite nostalgia critic song. This is a something song. A very generic song.
And the song I still use is the one where it was the critic Spoonie and Linkara reviewing what movie was it? It was a U of A bowl, and the characters were giving exposition, and so critic Linkara and Spoonie are just like, exposition, now you know the story plot.
Wasn't there another variation where it was pull shit out the ass, tee-hee?
Probably.
Do I want to know what I missed?
We were randomly discussing a favorite nostalgia critic made up ditties. Stuff along the lines of, I'm a motherfucking T-Rex!
Okay, so I come bearing the answer to this Salem to Summer Rose thing. Apparently the story goes that Summer Rose was one of those silver-eyed warriors that are being discussed. And of course, there's Ozpin wants to use her to defeat Lord Grimm to finally bring in era of peace. And so Summer would be able to live in a world where her daughters could grow without fear and yada yada yada. But of course, magic can't be destroyed. It can only be transferred. So when they defeat Lord Grimm, that magic gets transferred to Summer because she was closest.
Or to quote Uncle from Jackie Chan Adventures, magic must defeat magic.
Yes. Ugh. Either way, that was unsettling to sit through. Ugh.
Why is that?
I guess it just had something to do with Ozpin basically making Summer a tool, which is just...
Okay, yeah. The whole let's find a ball maiden thing is a bit unnerving in and of itself.
Yeah.
There was a lot of pressure placed on Pyrrha. I don't think they were attempting to do that, but that is a lot to put on a teenage girl's shoulders. I can't believe that there'd only be one gal that'd be the prospective ball maiden. I guess it makes sense because magic, you can chalk it up to just that, but...
Gracious.
I can see why they had pressing circumstances and such with Cinder's meddling, and it was only just a matter of time before she came stomping back saying, I'm here to steal the full man's powers, bitch!
Damn.
Okay, I'm done with the excessive cussing now.
So, should we wrap it up here? Because I'm kind of lost on what to talk to about.
Yeah, this would be a good place to wrap things up.
Yeah, I went to...
Next time's recording is going to be Undertale. Any closing comments?
Volume 4, please. I need you.
Volume 4, please. No Jean arc.
Oh, shite.
Volume 4, more Jean, just to irritate us all.
And a hoozles. Bye.
Have a good night, everybody.